This is Todd Boldazar. I'm here with Paul Paquin from Golden Financial Services. Good to see you, Paul. How are you?
Good to see you, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Hey, we're here today to talk about Golden Financial, the business, how you got started, a little bit on your background, and then maybe how Golden Financial Services can help people who are in debt, that are considering debt relief, debt consolidation, or just some general tips. What do you think?
Sounds good. Let's jump in.
All right, let's get right into it. How long has Golden Financial been in business, and what made you start financial consulting?
Well, we started back in 2004. Prior to that, I was managing a consumer credit counseling company. Okay, and between 2003 and 2004, we realized that not everyone would qualify for consumer credit counseling. You know, because with consumer credit counseling, you have to pay all of your debt back plus interest.
Right.
So you get a little bit lower payment. Your interest rates get reduced. So your payment will get reduced slightly, but some people need a significant reduction in their monthly payment. So we needed an option that could get that monthly payment a little bit lower.
Right.
And we wanted to save people from having to declare bankruptcy and file for bankruptcy. So we came up with the idea to go in and negotiate with the credit card companies where the debt actually gets reduced in a settlement. So consumers could end up paying only about half of what they owe, prior to the settlement company fees added on as well. But consumers could get out of debt for a fraction of the total amount owed. And that's how it all started.
That's excellent. So what's your typical customer look like, or what are some of your requirements? Is there like a minimum credit score? Is there an amount of debt that you have to have? How does that work?
So it's not necessarily about the credit score, because they could have a 710 credit score, which is pretty good, but they may have lost their job. So it's more about if you have a financial hardship and you can't afford to pay above the minimum payment,
right,
or maybe you can't even afford to pay minimum payments. And even if you do consumer credit counseling where the interest rate gets reduced, you still can't afford the payment. So that's the ideal client. They're about to fall behind on monthly payments and they don't want to do bankruptcy, because with bankruptcy, that's going to set them back even further.
Yeah, bankruptcy is a big word.
Yes, it is a big word, and it can, stay on your credit for 7 to 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
And then if you want to buy a home, or if you want to use your credit, it's almost going to guarantee you to have either the highest of interest rates, or you're going to not be able to get approved for a home loan, or to even buy a car, or to rent an apartment. So we want to help people avoid bankruptcy, and that's one of our main goals and objectives.
Okay, gotcha. So if I'm one of these customers that I might have some piling debt and I'm starting to shop around for financial services, what makes Golden Financial stand out from all the competitors, and why should I go with you guys?
Okay, so we started out as a debt settlement company, but then we quickly evolved over the years. Long story short, we offer multiple debt relief programs. Okay. And our infrastructure is a little bit different because we work with the top law firms and we work with the top debt relief companies in the nation. So we're able to offer consumers the best options, not just one debt settlement program. There's debt settlement, there's debt consolidation, there's consumer credit counseling. So we've partnered with the best companies in the nation. So part of our infrastructure allows us to offer multiple options. And that's why if you go to the BBB, and you check out our San Diego BBB rating, you don't see any complaints, because we give people what they need. And what we give them the best programs on the market. We have that flexibility to provide the best service based on each individual's needs.
Right on. And what's kind of your inspiration for helping people? Can you tell us a little bit about how you got started with this and why you're so good at it today?
Well, I'd have to attribute a lot of my success to my team that I work with. I mean, the guys that are on the front line that actually help the consumers that call in every day. I mean, we work with some of the best experts in this industry. guys like Wes Hendrickson and Rick Sorrentino, James Bond. Yes, that's not the James Bond on the movie, but the financial expert James Bond.
Right.
So we have some of the best experts. Literally, these guys are amazing. I learn stuff from these guys every day, but I'd have to attribute most of our success as a company to the guys that are on the front line, helping the consumers every day. And the other part I'd have to say would be attributed to having a role model. Back in my early 20s, I had bad credit at one point. I didn't own Golden Financial. As I mentioned, I started working for a consumer credit counseling company, and that's where I met one of my role models, George Kokinos. He was the owner of one of the largest credit counseling companies in the nation at the time. And when you have the right role models, whether that's in sports, whether you're in football, wrestling, you have to have role models, people that have already made it, people that are already where you want to be. And I had the right role models, and that's what everyone should have that's striving to get somewhere. You have to follow the people that have already done what you want to do, the people that have made it. So I attribute a lot of my success on Golden Financial also to having the right role models back in my early 20s. And now that motivates me to share everything that I've learned. That's why I write these blog posts at goldenfs.org in the blog about how I repaired my credit. And I share everything I know with others because I want to give back. That's what motivates me.
That's awesome, and it's so good that you started from the bottom and worked your way up. So you have all that experience over those years of doing multiple things in finance in order to kind of give a well-rounded, thought process to people who are interested. That's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, okay, let's give out a little bit of a freebie here. Let's do some advice. If you could give some advice to someone in financial trouble who's seeking for help, where would they start? What would that look like?
Well, when my friends come to me and they're asking me, get me into your program, I want to join your program, I don't welcome them into the program. I first try to help them avoid the program. Your best option is to be able to afford to pay more than the minimum payments and get out of debt on your own, because that's going to improve your credit score. So the first thing you need to do is get an idea. You need to get a clear visual of all your finances. How do you do that? You make a budget. There's a lot of different budget tools. We actually have a free one on our website. If you go to goldenfs.org/budget-calculator. So you get a budget analysis in place. Now you have a clear visual of all your expenses and income. That makes it easy to find where your money's going. You can find expenses that you can eliminate. So the first step is to get a clear visual, and then you can start to formulate a plan. You can figure out, okay, I can eliminate this expense. I can lower this expense. So the idea is you want to be able to increase your available cash flow. Once you increase your available cash flow, then you can start using like the debt avalanche or the debt snowball method, where you focus on one debt at a time. You can pick the account with the highest interest rate, or you can pick the account with the highest, with the debt snowball method, what you do is you focus on the smallest debt. You put as much money as you can put towards paying off that smallest debt, and you pay minimum payments on everything else. And the idea is to quickly get rid of that small debt. Okay, you've got one account out of the way, you've got 3 left. So it allows you to quickly get rid of your debt one by one, and each time you pay off a debt, your available cash flow increases. As your available cash flow increases, you funnel that extra money towards paying off the next debt in line. So that's how the debt snowball method works. You can go to goldenfs.org/snowball-calculator, and you can use that free calculator.
That's so cool. I mean, I got to be honest with you, since we started talking, I mean, I've been using that method. I've been paying down my debt so much faster. I mean, for a lot of people, I think what they're just so concerned about is covering their minimum payments and then not making any progress. And so then that interest just comes right back. It accrues, and you're just paying off that interest without covering your principal on so many of your loans and your credit cards and stuff like that. And so I think that is major for everyone. So I really appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so once you get your budget in place, right? If you find out I can barely afford minimum payments, and you've got maxed out credit card debt, for example, in that case, that right there is your cue that maybe it's time to consider a debt relief program. So that's the cue. If you can't afford to pay more than the minimum payment, right, and you barely afford those minimum payments, and you have high debt, $10,000 or more in unsecured debt, that's the cue. Okay, I need to consider debt relief programs. And then you can look into debt consolidation, consumer credit counseling, debt settlement, debt validation.
Right.
These are the programs.
Excellent. Hey, Paul, I really appreciate your time today. Why don't you drop us real quick with the best way to contact you?
Okay, well, I'd recommend you go to goldenfs.org. So it's like Golden Financial Services, but it's abbreviated. So the website is goldenfs.org. And then from there, you can either choose your state, and you'll be able to learn your state's best options. You can go to the budget calculator. You can play with all of our free tools. And that's the best place to go, because the website's very easy to use, and it will direct you on where to go once you get there.
All right, Paul. I appreciate it, man.
Excellent. Thank you, Todd, for your time, and I hope this video was helpful.